Elden Ring. 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 Elden Ring is a third-person action fantasy role-playing video game created by Japanese game company From Software, who are known for their incredible challenging games, such as the Souls series, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. Elden Ring released in 2022 to appropriately massive praise.
This is one of our first absolutely massive wins for 2022.
The game is out, and it is absolutely outstanding.
Elden Ring is easily one of my favorite games of all time.
Elden Ring takes place in a world called the Lands Between. It's full of beautiful, vast landscapes and scenery that I can only characterize as moving art pieces, all waiting to leave its audience in awe. Elden Ring had me swearing. God damn it, motherfucker. Shit. Fucking little bitch. Bastard. Oh my god. No! Oh my fucking god, man. Fuck! Elden Ring had us acting like babies.
Oh, you're in the village. Oh.
Back to village. No, I don't want to go.
We'll go back to village?
I want Johnny first. Oh, it's raining now.
Oh, it's a big night. Oh, he gonna fight me? Oh, you gonna fight me?
Fortnite. My favorite.
Oh, Fortnite?
Can we play Fortnite after this?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Then it had me swearing some more. Fuck you. I hardly finish open world games. I just don't. I have no interest in Horizon Robo-Dinos. Who would have guessed? Starfield turned out to be more lifeless Bethesda trash. Sorry, Todd. I didn't finish Fallout 4 or Skyrim.
I made all my money on oil and Fallout games!
Assassin's Creed Black Flag is one of the only Ubisoft games I've ever finished. There are exceptions to this. I adore the Batman Arkham series, though all of those games are under, what, 30 hours? I beat Red Dead Redemption 2, begrudgingly towards the end. Finally, I sunk just over 50 hours into Zelda Breath of the Wild, and thoroughly enjoyed my time. However, I was burnt out in the final stretch of the game, losing motivation to finish it. And some say I still haven't. But now I'm stuck 10 hours into Tears of the Kingdom, and I don't know what to do. I'll play it eventually. Hence, when I say I beat Elden Ring, and it took 100 hours to do so, that is a game and design achievement. And I utterly love Elden Ring. Not every second, trust me. But I have 120 gigabytes of game footage on my PC. Not making a video isn't an option. I need to talk about this game and how it succeeded. Now, I am just another lowly Tarnished adding my voice to the massive community of people who additionally love Elden Ring for so many reasons. Better people have already critiqued this game. People have uncovered and untangled its lore secrets. People have drawn all the different characters fucking each other. Inevitably, I'm gonna repeat common sentiments or rehash ideas already covered. Listen, I know I'm fucking screwed when Joseph Anderson manages to get a video out on a topic long before half this script was completed. There's like 1 million people who have talked Elden Ring to death. With this in mind, just remember, the lands between are vast. Praise America, and the mimic tier is broken. In this video, I want to explore how Elden Ring succeeded where Ubisoft, where Bethesda, where other open world games have failed. What about Elden Ring propelled me to finish it? Where it perhaps went wrong, and much more is what I intend to explore in this 15-minute video. Don't look at the video length. Well, it all starts with a world of beauty and What about Elden Ring's world design philosophy makes it stand out in the sea of AAA garbage? I think this all comes down to FromSoft's confidence in this world they've crafted and the content they've filled it with. This allows for quite a unique gameplay loop of exploration and combat. Thus, let's start at the start. You create your character, make your way through the tutorial location, accidentally fall off and die. Oh shit. Well, then you open up the door to Limgrave, and that's it. You're going on an adventure. A long one. Much longer and vaster than you could ever expect. Your first big challenge is going to be Tree Sentinel. Okay, go. Horse, run. Oh, no. Run. You stupid fucking... And by, challenge, I mean you're just gonna run away, flock of seagulls style. Importantly though, here lies said gameplay loop. You continue towards a big landmark before you meet a piece of shit boss who wipes the floor with you.
These foolish
Run away somewhere else to explore, find gear, and level up. Return to the shitbag boss with essentially a bigger stick and defeat them. It's addictive and a tangible challenge where the player isn't spoon-fed like a baby waiting for the Todd choo-choo train to arrive at my mouth. You don't need 50 non-playable characters or NPCs explaining that you have to make your way to a big castle in the distance as, let me check, that's a big castle in the distance! Of course I want to explore it! The checkpoints of Grace do provide a basic direction towards main story goals, however, it's easy to get sidetracked. You'll likely ignore these as you advance in the game. Speaking of 50 NPCs giving you hints like a fucking hint bukkake, in Elden Ring, there's basically only one character giving you directions, like a loving, healthy relationship. His name is Gideon. He tells you the general location of your 8 or so main goals. And like most side characters in this game, you end up killing Gideon. As the world is awful and shattered, the best life for the people you meet along the way is the life where they never met you. As people have pointed out, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was a turning point for free-form open-world exploration. It is a good-looking game with some amazing environmental puzzles and storytelling. Well, Elden Ring takes these foundations and shatters them into many shards across a land. The vast design of environments and enemies is jaw-dropping. In my 100 hours of playtime, even as the gameplay became stale at late game points, the vistas and landscapes never ceased to amaze me. The enemy design and visual flair is truly among the greatest of all time. FromSoft have set themselves, once again, an impossible standard to beat. Elden Ring is an art gallery which is incredibly curated, and the world has such life, even in its despair. It was never too long before I uncovered another precisely crafted, jaw-dropping moment that even regular linear games struggle to even pull off once. Moments like coming across a Midsommar-style village, or a massive lake of rot, or an underground city lit by an impossible night sky are just the tip of the iceberg of what Elden Ring has to offer. Painstakingly recreating ancient Egypt is an achievement. Filling the world with copy-paste NPCs and villages with specific icons telling you where the actually exciting parts are is a travesty. Creating a massive sprawling open world is a challenge. However, all that effort is meaningless if said world is not filled with substance. Every time I met a character in Elden Ring who didn't want to immediately kill me, I had no clue how much attention they required, or how far into the game I would continue to see them, or if I would even find them again. When I went into a cave or a random forest, I had no idea if this was a 5-minute side adventure for some basic loot, or a full-fledged Fellowship of the Ring quest that would take me to an entire new area featuring multiple bosses and several mythical weapons. The game, pretty big! This is a fairly common sentiment. For God's sake, it's bigger than the creator outright stated. There is a second map for an entire underground area that weaves and connects into the areas above. You explore this massive world with an almost guarantee of tangible rewards, such as a weapon, trinket, piece of armor, upgrade item, summon, or one of the many spells or incantations which I have no intention of ever using. Additionally, there's only one currency, so even if you don't get a useful, tangible item, like magic, you still make progress with the currency you gain, which allows you to level up and buy more items. This is refreshing. Actual substantive rewards are not something open world games are used to. The idea that a player could accidentally miss a powerful item just because they didn't explore the right area doesn't fly in a Ubisoft game. There is a total confidence in the world FromSoft has created that no matter what the player does, they will have breathtaking experiences, even if they entirely miss some of those experiences. Now, completing the game, and with hindsight, criticism will rear its many shadowy heads with what is actually worth your time. If my illusions haven't been clear, I had no intention of using illusions and becoming a magician. Not all experiences are made equal. However, I'm not done preaching praise, much like a priest who won't shut the fuck up about his spells and incantation. So, let's put a pin in criticism. Plainly put, the world of Elden Ring is something to behold. There are a multitude of surprises around every corner. Oh, the fuck? You little bastard. And by surprises, oh, you rat. Cheap fucking game. Oh, you think you're so clever. I mean despair. Oh, fucking shitbags. Quite a bit of despair. Oh, you fucking bitch. That's the bullshit. Go fuck yourself, you fucking asshole. Now, I'm in no way done talking about the massive weaving world of landscapes and characters. However, it's about time we discuss Elden Ring's other main element. Combat. There are many combat options, but to best express my preference and experience of Elden Ring's combat, let me tell you a tale. A tale of Early in the game, once I had a grasp of combat, I settled into a melee dodge build, which appealed to me far more than a ranged or block heavy setup. Elden Ring has diverse options on how to play the game. With these options comes different difficulties and preferences on how to enjoy Elden Ring. It should be said, most people eventually find one method that appeals to them and stick with it. I enjoy a melee dodge build. It keeps you close to the fight, however, you need to learn the enemy's patterns to appropriately react and then counterattack. I'd also gained the ability to travel upon the goat? Or horse? I don't know. Called Torrent, and spirit summons, which are essentially Pokemon-like allies to aid in the fight. I used both of these at my own leisure early on. Torrent provided extra mobility to play more defensively and easily recover, while the ghost summons provided reprieve in endurance fights. I was pretty much ready to storm the castle, Stormvale Castle. However, one challenge still remained in the windy fields of Limgrave. A singular Crucible Knight locked in an arena that didn't allow the use of Torrent or Spirit Summons. With these restrictions, the fight became a one-on-one duel, where my only option was to outperform my opponent. Or I could run away from the fight, overlevel, get more weapons, and come back like a coward. However, I felt I was presently at the right level to beat my opponent, which I did with absolute ease. Piece of fucking cake. Oh, he gets wings. Oh, for fuck's sake. So yeah, it was a pretty rough fight. I continually got my butt handed to me. Crucible Knight was so aggressive, chaining attacks together in a manner that was non-stop. There was so little time to recover health, and every time I thought I was at a safe distance, Crucible Knight would do this massive fucking lunge attack, and that would hit me from a mile away. Damn you. Oh, you fucking little bitch fucker. Fuck. This forced me to learn his moveset to find openings to counterattack. Engage with the fight. You needed to play reserved, as a few rapid mistakes could mean death. Crucible Knight has some insane fucko combos that will wipe you against the floor if you're not prepared. If that wasn't enough, Crucible Knight has a second phase in which he gains wings and a long-ranged dragon tail attack, which was just lovely. Go on, do the shield. I like that maneuver. Not that one. I hate this maneuver.
Oh, I fucked it!
Double tail, double tail, double tail. Oh, it's the whole map! It hits the whole map! Furthermore, his second phase changes up his attack patterns, meaning points where I would expect it to be safe to attack no longer were. Molto bene, I love it! This was just another brick in the wall that I hit in the learning curve of Elden Ring. It was an exhausting, punishing fight with no other option than to learn his attacks and respond accordingly. It took a little bit of time and plenty of patience. Nope. I'm dead. I fucking look at Greedy. Look at his health. Look at his fucking health, man.
Dude.
But my final run against this boss was a beautiful duet dance of dodges and hits with the occasional mess up that just became a part of the rhythm. Any person who has played the Souls series understands this flow feeling. I've even flat out stated it was my favourite part of the second half of Sekiro. Thus, when my friend in his own game and I finally beat Crucible Knight in basically the same run, there were cheers to be heard.
Double single tail twice, yep. Oh, yes! Dude,
It's the same time! Same time! I think I might have spent the most time in this game trying to beat this boss. I had beaten Crucible Knight. Even with the great adversity, this fight felt fair. And thus, the feeling of elation was unmatched when I finally won. I had get good. I didn't know it at the time, but this fight would characterize and shape how I wanted to enjoy Elden Ring. A melee dodge build with limited secondary assistance, such as spells or spirit summons. Most enemies don't really know how to deal with ranged builds or multiple targets, and it negates the risk of damage. I personally don't enjoy ranged builds, as I feel it makes the fights boring and slow. This early game win was certainly a highlight. However, I had a sneaking suspicion this wouldn't be the last I'd come across the so-called Crucible Knights, if that even is their name. Thus, when I happened upon a Castle Cliffside Crucible Knight challenge, I was ready. I trekked down the secret cliffside, I powered up, sneaked behind him, and destroyed him with so very little effort. Hang on. I don't know why it says we're cut into a clip here. What?
Get the thing and just attack it.
Okay, just attack it. Fuck you. And he knocked me off the cliff. I fucking... The next Crucible Knight encounter was just after the midpoint of the game. I made my way down a massive dungeon and found myself against not just one Crucible Knight, no, good sir, but two, at the same time! Two incredibly aggressive enemies that are challenge enough by themselves fighting me at the same time! That was a little over the top. If you want this fight to be in any way enjoyable, the use of summons is required. However, using summons does, for me, and my stupid fucking pride, cheapen the fight. It stings even more so that it's one of your only viable strategies besides a ranged spellcaster build. Luckily, this was the only time this boss design appeared in the game, and we all lived happily ever after, just like the studio ending of Terry Gilliam's Brazil. Bum 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 bum. Foreshadowing. Anywho, single Crucible Knights do become a semi-regular enemy in late game areas, and I'm okay with that. Oh, sugar. Well, we meet again. Their complex moveset make them a boss-level enemy early on. However, with some new weapons, some leveling up, and better combat skill, they are a formidable foe, but hardly a difficult challenge. I hope this has demonstrated what about the combat I enjoyed, challenge included, and how for most of the game, it complemented my preferred playstyle. Elden Ring is expansive, and while I think I've made it clear, criticism is inevitable. For now, it's time to explore more about the lands between, the fantastic moments, its great tangles of moonlight, grace, and flame. Elden Ring is vast. The breadth and depth of what you can stumble upon is insanity. The world is deeper and higher than you could ever expect, and this awe is only offset by the pain inflicted deep into my soul by the late game bosses. I previously explained how this open world is filled with substance, and the freedom to come across moments that feel unique to each player's journey. In this section, I'm going to consider the interconnected routes through the lands between. There are many branching pathways and winds that can come and fuck up your shot every fucking time, like fucking clockwork, cunt. There are many branching pathways and impossibly great world design that is crafted to give you awe-inspiring, memorable moments. These moments can include landscapes to brand new dungeons, insane boss entrances, powerful weapons, artifacts, and pieces of the story you'd never expect. However, due to the openness of the game and how players come across these moments, and even what moments they come across, can greatly vary. This is the trick FromSoft play beautifully, because really, the game isn't that open. You most definitely are still boxed into certain areas, and to progress out of these areas requires you to eventually be funneled into a linear path, usually guarded by a big bag of shit who's gonna fuck you up. Now, just because it's a trick doesn't mean it's bad. Additionally, on your first playthrough, in the moment, you can't tell it's a trick, at least I couldn't. I'm going to offer some brief examples here, starting with two big ones. Now, these two are fairly well-known examples, mainly as they relate to the boundaries of large areas. Thus, even though it's well-covered ground, I still feel it's significant to retell them here, starting with Stormveil Castle, the first big dungeon area you come across. Now, to get to the next main open area, you need to make your way through the castle. However, to enter Stormveil, you have to beat Margot. Now, Margot can be a pretty tough boss, and if you haven't been exploring the map to the fullest extent, you're going to be underleveled for this fight. However, if like Rum Tum Tugger, you're a particularly curious cat, you can actually sneak around the castle and bypass the whole dungeon. Just like that. The next big example is the Dectus lift, which gets you to the next big section of the game. You have two options to get here. You collect two halves of a medallion spread across the previous areas. With the medallion, you can activate the lift, which gives you a majestic introduction to the Altus Plateau on this massive mythical elevator, which was ultimately the way I made it to this area, and the most linear approach. Alternatively, if you're a particularly curious cat, you can head up the cliffside, making your way through a Mines of Moria-like adventure, bypassing the entire lift. You don't get the same extravagant introduction that the massive floating lift gives you. However, you get a feeling of relief as you make it to the top of the cliffside and bask at the new beautiful location that is lush compared to the desolate mines you journeyed through. Except, hang on, this wasn't how I originally got to this area. There's a third secret, crazy clickbait way which I accidentally went through. While exploring the Academy of Magic, I came across a sarcophagus-like abductor enemy. I was a cat. Curiosity killed me. I got gobbled up, and upon death, I found myself trapped in the basement of a volcano mansion in a part of the map much further north than I'd ever been. I struggled through lava and eventually reached a checkpoint that allowed me to teleport elsewhere. However, once I'd leveled up a bit, I came back, beat the annoying ass double abductor boss after they'd slaughtered my monkey crew. When I exited the cave, I arrived at Mount Gelmir without ever taking the lift or cliff route. Just like that, FromSoft put in an absurd teleport that not even a third of the audience will naturally stumble across. Regardless of whether you took the main linear route or an alternative, you still got an enjoyable, memorable experience. How many games can I say that about? Hollow Knight? Kind of. Breath of the Wild is the clear inspiration, but as I said, I lost interest. With Elden Ring's design, I was engaged through most of the 100 hours it took me to beat. Another part of that may be the side missions that subtly Okay, very subtly push you towards certain sections of the game. If you're new to FromSoft's approach to quest and storytelling design, then Elden Ring is going to be a shock to the system. Unlike most games, FromSoft quests and stories are more like a confusing puzzle, or a murder mystery, but with less clues. To come across a good chunk of the narrative and quests in Elden Ring, you'll most definitely need a PhD in investigative journalism, then just maybe you'll be able to fly to Japan and ask the creators what the fuck is going on. Or, like me, you just look it up on the internet. This is a part of the FromSoft charm and uniqueness that makes their games distinct. Elden Ring certainly made steps in the right direction to improve in this design approach, however, it's far from perfect. The major difference when compared to other video games is there's no objective markers or a quest log, reminding you where a certain character told you to go. I can tell you, right now, I didn't finish or even come across all of the quests. Absurdly, the only major quest I missed, from what I can tell, was the one involving gold masks, which is just perfect considering my channel theme. Now, while the quest design can be frustrating, especially in the way you'll find a kooky character who asks you to do something you don't comprehend. What do you mean, tri-finger butthole? I don't understand. These little goblins are speaking literal words that I can't interpret. When I then never come across this person again, shrug and move on. That's the FromSoft quirk. And I do think this is an issue. I'm not asking for exact instructions on where I need to go next for quests, but some kind of in-game log or diary that could gently remind me of the characters that matter and the directions they gave me would go a long way. I want to experience all the work FromSoft put into this brilliant game. I'm okay to miss some of the unique small moments that are scattered throughout the lands. That's a part of what makes this game special. However, I'd rather not miss the more significant quests. This comes back to this major theme I've gently touched upon in previous sections, of Elden Ring having the confidence to let its players miss entire chunks of the game. However, here with the side quests, I feel it has a negative impact. In Elden Ring, missing a weapon, a piece of narrative, or a twist of level design is the cost of a game full of brilliant weapons, fantastic pieces of narrative, and remarkable level design. That's all just waiting for its players to arrive upon. However, apparently there are 36 quests beyond the main narrative of obtaining the shards of the titular Elden Ring. How many of those I completed, and why I followed the, at times, absurd directions of clearly insane people has the same answer of why I went to college and got a degree. If you haven't played the game, I know this might be getting a tad confusing. Let me go back to the basics here. The core gameplay loop of exploration, upgrades, boss fights that I've previously discussed will occasionally be interrupted by a creature that doesn't immediately want to kill you. You have a chat with them about the weather, and usually you learn about their circumstance and they give you some vague directions. My experience was that the clearer the directions, the more significant the quest. On first playthrough, you have zero idea how long a quest will take. Some of them are as simple as collecting and giving some items to a character who will usually remain in a static location. Some quests involve interacting with characters along your journey, and their placement will usually be in spots that you can't miss. Other quests will have you exploring the literal edges of the world, going deeper and deeper into new unknown areas, interacting with multiple characters, finding plenty of rare items, several mini and proper boss fights. Now, you won't know that completing this quest will take you through pretty much the entirety of the game. I'm talking about you, Ranni, Goddess, Witch of the Moon. That's the Elden Ring Gambit. You may think you're in for a very simple side adventure of collect some milk from the milk store. However, you won't know what incredible detours you'll be forced upon until you are Brendan Fraser, journeying to the center of the earth, uncovering long dead creatures who want to rip your guts out, when all you want is some fucking chalky milk. Strangely enough, I found some actual emotion with these characters. The world is beautiful and boundless and oftentimes lonely. That when you come across anyone, regardless of their, let's say, dubious intentions, you grasp for that connection. However, staying true to form with FromSoft's narrative design, there were numerous times where I fought tooth and nail to save or help someone, only for them to turn out to be evil or sadly content to die. It was entirely miserable and suitable for this world. Ranni the Witch, whose questline is as long as most regular games, had me travel to the literal Mariana's Trench of the world, which, from my understanding, isn't even the lowest point, to then among the highest unreachable points of the starting areas, which taunted me for the first 80 hours of the game. It's no surprise that when I arrived at the end, I was inclined towards the ending I'd unlocked by serving Ranni the Moon Witch, as she was one of the few characters who didn't end up trying to kill me. Plus, I followed the Reddit ending flowchart which brought me to Ranni. The gods do suck, and I am incredibly desperate for pussy. Flowchart? How do you know me so well? I do want to further explore the main narrative. However, before that, let's discuss the two major forms of Elden Ring's level design. Elden Ring can be broken into two major forms of level design. Free roam, which is new to FromSoft. This involves much larger landscapes with far less guide and direction, enabling the player to explore at their own leisure. This is when you get to ride the goat horsey. There's plenty of checkpoints. You can stumble across mini dungeons, such as caves or catacombs. Additionally, the free roam sections are full of enemy camps, ruins, the occasional village, mini bosses here and there, and plenty of aforementioned surprises to keep you on your toes. Progressing through the free roam areas will eventually lead you to what's known as a legacy dungeon. These are far more linear levels and in line with FromSoft's previous games. There are far fewer checkpoints, you can't use your horse, thus your mobility is limited. To progress, you more than likely will have to fight all the enemies in your way. These levels often have overlapping paths with a more distinct goal of making your way through the dungeon, to which a big bad boss is usually waiting for you at the end. These legacy dungeons include Stormvale Castle, Raya Lucaria Academy, Volcano Manor, which I entirely missed, Lindale Royal Capital, Crumble and Farum Mazula, and Mikola's Haligtree. These levels are intricately crafted with a set difficulty curve. There's pretty much no way to bypass sections, and to finish the game, you will have to complete at least 3 of these. Both Free Roam and Legacy have different strengths and weaknesses. Free Roam allows players to explore and discover the world at their own pace, in whatever direction they would like at the expense of challenge. Being able to do any content within a zone in whatever order you'd like means that the difficulty will inevitably swing wildly between far too easy and far too difficult. Furthermore, in a series that is known for its difficulty, there's no way to gauge if this is the intended difficulty or if you accidentally wandered into a late game area. I was mostly lucky on my first playthrough. I managed to head pretty much through the optimal route with very little areas that felt too easy or too hard. There's something to be said about the incredible difficulty spike of the late game, however, that's to be considered later. Legacy dungeons don't really have the difficulty problem. Yes, you can be over-leveled, but more so, the challenge comes from careful consideration and patience. As previously stated, these levels have scarce checkpoints, set enemies you can't avoid, and many weave-in paths that will require some thought to properly traverse. I never didn't enjoy a Legacy dungeon and actively looked forward to replaying them. The same cannot be said for the free roam areas. Once I'd reached the Altus Plateau, which feels like one of the last meaningful free roam areas, I was starting to lose motivation to keep playing. I wasn't sure how much game was left, which, for the record, I wasn't even halfway yet. However, just as I started to falter, Elden Ring delivered what is by far my favourite section of the game, the Lindale Royal Capital. This is the most ambitious Legacy dungeon of the game. It's not even a dungeon, it's a city! It's perfect. The atmosphere, the look of the buildings, the change up in enemy variety, how, if you explore enough, you end up in the slums, which connects to another, pretty much separate, Legacy dungeon of the sewers. There's an amazing verticality of how everything connects. You jump along rooftops, climb up massive roots, scale a dragon corpse that has become a landmark the city built around. All to make your way through a pristine palace at the peak of the city, to which you will finally arrive at what to this point has been your main goal. Make it to the massive golden Erdtree. I lost myself in Lindale. It was so good that I pretty much ended up playing Elden Ring non-stop until I beat it from that point on. Elden Ring is full of landscapes and landmasses that take your breath away. Furthermore, this world is filled with beautiful narrative and symbolism, all there to be deciphered by the player. FromSoft have a history of making their stories and plot inaccessible. The story is the atmosphere in the world FromSoft created that you get to explore and discover. Elden Ring is no exception to this design philosophy. However, with the collaboration of someone who used to write Game of Thrones books, George R.R. Martin, Elden Ring reaches truly high peaks for video game storytelling. My commentary in this section could quite easily just go off rails, because as even the people like me who have finished the game will admit, understanding the story is hardly an easy task. People could have careers explaining the lore of FromSoft games, and they do. I'm very jealous, you're doing God's work. While Elden Ring does impart some knowledge, such as the opening cinematic of the game, which establishes some of our main characters in this new world, and the very basic guidance of our travelling companion Melina and Sir Gideon Offner, the All-Knowing, who, for someone who has All-Knowing in their name, tells you fairly little about your quest, besides the compass direction of the people you have to kill. Beyond this information, you're left in the goddamn brutal dark of the Night of the Black Knives. Yes, if you want to spend your time deciphering and uncovering every little detail to fully understand a centuries-long fantasy conflict, you can. However, what makes the beautiful moments of story work comes down to memorable, striking imagery and how that makes you feel. Elden Ring's narrative has several techniques to clue you in to what's going on. The first and most successful of which is iconography. 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 The lands between are full of imagery. Religious, royalty, wartime, to name a brief few. About 60% through the game, I didn't really have a tangible grasp on the centuries of conflict I was resolving. However, I sure as shit had a decent vibe. The pieces of narrative started to unconsciously click in a manner that I've hardly seen before or since. Myst and Hollow Knight again immediately come to mind as providing a comparable experience. Nearly every part of this world is distinct. When you go to a new region or are exploring an ancestral home, there's thematic environmental storytelling that helps clue you in. There are so many different factions with conflicting objectives that without this careful construction to make each faction and family unique, it would get even more lost in the scale of everything. It's hard to explain it in words, and obviously at this point I'm deep into the story and other people's analysis of it, but like Todd says, it just works. For example, when you finally properly make it to the capital, there's a giant dragon that has died and turned to stone that crashed through the city, in a way that they have built around its corpse. Thus it seems there was a costly war with dragons, FromSoft bringing out the classics, but this makes you ask further questions. Well, where do all the dragons live? An answer you'll eventually find in a late game area, or may stumble upon from afar early on, giving you a breathtaking tease at where your adventure may take you. One of the biggest pieces of iconography is of Queen Marika, praise be, the once ruler and pretty much god of the lands between. Marika held the Elden Ring in its entirety and would be the one to break it into many shards across the lands. For this, she was crucified and seemingly killed. However, you find religious symbols of her everywhere, very similar to the Judeo-Christian icon of a Messiah upon a cross. They are called Churches of Marika, spread across the world where people worship her. Now, as your quest progresses towards the end, and you gain entry to the massive Erdtree, having collected several shards of the Elden Ring, if you've been paying attention, you may have some small clues as to what you'll find inside the Golden Tree. However, even if you haven't caught on, there's no way not to notice the hundreds of Marika crucifixes. It's among the first major statue you see. The lands are full of these idols and symbols. The world of the game is subtly providing you with its intentions. The giant golden tree, visible from pretty much all areas of the surface, is your goal. And finally, when you're able to enter the core of the Erdtree, what do you find but the iconography you've seen everywhere in the flesh? It's a jaw-dropping story moment that works on every level. Now, do I understand why the boss is called Radagon, but has the seemingly female form of Marika? No, not really. They're either the same person or merged into one being as a god. It's not super explained. However, regardless, it makes for a fantastic cinematic moment that leads to a spectacularly looking boss fight. Elden Ring is full of massive scale environmental storytelling. The underground areas are ancient, even more so than the decaying castles and cities of the surface. How many times has this world been rebuilt over a previous civilization? The world goes even deeper to suggest another older world buried. The Erdtree is a distinctly massive, one-of-a-kind tree. Except it isn't. In the late game, you discover another massive tree, which of course I want to explore. Except this one has decayed and has fungal rot growing all over it. When you eventually reach the core of the tree, there's a surprise party waiting for you. Woo! It's a load of fun! What is that? Upon beating Radahn, a cinematic meteor smashes into the world, and it may not be until much later that you realize it's broken through the surface of an early area you've already explored, unlocking a brand new section of the game. The Ancestor Spirit boss fight feels like a mercy kill or a lost entity that lived when life was abundant in this land. And these moments keep going on and on. It's unreal. One final moment that sticks out in my head as incredibly rad is towards the end of the game. I ended up getting a hug from hell by some fiery fingers that removed my soul. I didn't exactly realize the consequences of this decision at the time. However, I was siding myself with essentially the villains who wanted the entire world to burn. Which was quite convenient, because my current main goal was to burn down the Erdtree. Upon heading back to the soup bowl of the giants, my companion Melina, who at this point I'd spent 70 plus hours with, explained that this was her one purpose: to sacrifice herself into a million ashes, bringing down the Erdtree, that I was taking this purpose away from her. She leaves you, and in true FromSoft fashion, I never saw this character again. Even once I'd regained my soul, you never see Melina again. It's perfectly unsatisfying. The only ending that Melina doesn't die in, she leaves, never to be seen again, loathing you. I then sacrificed myself, burning with eternal chaos fire, bringing down this massive Erdtree in flames. This moment worked extraordinarily well as an emotional and cinematic climax that changes the entire world forever. When you do eventually make it back to the surface, the areas closest to the Erdtree are buried in ash. This once golden tree, visible from nearly every section of the game, burns. Elden Ring's story may only exist in my head as vivid ashes of narrative imagery spread across 100 hours. But it's there, burned into my memory far more than most other games. Brah! Gotcha! This is a story of an adventure I found myself on in the lands between. I trekked my way down a mini dungeon hoping to find some great loot and rewards. This involved making my way through a poison-flooded hallway into a chariot dodging timing-based puzzle that had several routes you could scale down to continue. Eventually, you disable a flaming cannon trap, fight a couple stone gremlins, and make it to a massive open area with a chest across a narrow bridge. Indiana Jones style, when you pick up your reward, two massive flesh scorpions surprise you from the ceiling. These enemies are ruthless to fight, thus I started my daring escape, fighting the flesh scorpion as I raced out of the dungeon. However, tragedy struck. Oh no! Oh no, 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 no,
What is that?
no!
Is that flame trap?
I died, losing all my 26,000 runes. Now, to recover my runes, I had to make my way back to where I died. So, run through the poison, dodge the spiked chariot, scale down the side of the path, fight the gremlins, and without even thinking... And those fucking scorpions. Shit! Fuck! 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 I walked straight into the flame trap again. Losing all my runes. For good. Yes, most of FromSoft's level design is pretty mean, and set up to make you scream. But it's memorable, and an unmatched gaming experience unique to me. The roots of being able to create an environment for these memorable experiences goes all the way back to FromSoft and Miyazaki's early games. It now feels appropriate for a Dark Souls. After beating Elden Ring, I decided it was time to go back and slowly break my fingers, one by one. Really, the perfect way to make someone appreciate Elden Ring is playing Dark Souls immediately after. There's a great refinement of FromSoft's basic systems, and the general feel of Elden Ring is smoother. Pretty much everything you'd expect from a decade of FromSoft developing and polishing their style. Furthermore, Dark Souls is really nasty. It actively wants you to give up. Blighttown, Sen's Fortress, and Tomb of the Giants are just maggoty dogshit levels to play, and they're not exactly outliers in Dark Souls. I'm convinced that the boss fight in the middle of the game against these two fucks cannot be beat without using the pillars to glitch the movement of one of them. Yet, for all of Dark Souls' sadistic gameplay design, I can't help but admit, it only motivated me more to push on and win. There's something to be said about how the game will happily kick you while you're down, and with the odds stacked entirely against you, it forces you to engage with every gameplay element available to you. Most importantly, the boss fights feel fair. Even if they're technically not, I never felt like the challenge was beyond reasonable. Additionally, you can see so much of what will eventually become Elden Ring present in FromSoft's early design philosophy. Sure, it's a bit rough, very rough, but they pretty much nailed it on their second game of the series. Do I ever intend to play Dark Souls 1 again? No, but I'm glad I persisted. There are some truly unmatched moments throughout Dark Souls, and yes, you have to eat a lot of shit to reach those, but when you do, it's a feeling like no other. Like the Everest conquering feeling of finally making it to Anor Londo. I'm grateful for the improvements made throughout the years, like checkpoints at the bosses. It's ridiculous to make you run 5 minutes to attempt a difficult boss, only to die within 20 seconds before doing it all again. It's not a punishment if I can just run past the enemies. It's an inconvenience. Dark Souls 1 is mean and at times abusive. It made me endure. It made me feel like I had something to prove. And yes, at times it wasn't fun, but it was always engaging and I was never bored. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Elden Ring. Ambition is a powerful motivator. FromSoft set out to make a massive world, one that, to their detriment, would remain somewhat massive up into its final sections. It's quite spectacular that FromSoft could make such a crowning achievement, which are the early open world stages, understanding everything that makes those areas special, and decide that these late game areas are acceptable. This is hardly a unique opinion, however, pretty much all of the non-linear exploration and unique experiences disappear in these late game areas. It's as simple as me saying everything I loved about the core gameplay loop of the first 2/3 of the game just isn't here. Now, luckily, the legacy dungeons are still quite good, and the artful landscapes never don't take my breath away. If they were empty hub worlds that connected to the final run of legacy dungeons and bosses, that would be okay. At some point the game would have to narrow its focus, so why not in its final stretch? However, FromSoft didn't make these areas empty. They recycled enemies, side dungeons, and mini-bosses that, while fun and unique to their original setting, are just flat out irritating here. They are nothing but a boring inconvenience to drain your motivation to properly explore and engage with Elden Ring. Hey, shit. Once it became clear FromSoft were no longer able to uphold that high level of quality that propelled me in the early game, I stopped exploring every single nook and cranny.
Oh yay, another dragon. Very cool.
I felt my time being wasted. I got bored. I'll take this further. The first run of Elden Ring is a brilliant experience. However, once you know everything you need to do, what content is worth your time and what isn't massively impacts replayability. On a second run, I actively avoided sidetracks, knowing where the gear I wanted was and what parts were worth re-experiencing. As I've stated previously, the legacy dungeons always remain a curated linear challenge with distinct pacing. They're fun to replay and explore, you can't really rush through them, the scarce checkpoints and enemy placement still require some level of patience to overcome. The open world areas, by notion of giving you freedom, are pretty much entirely skippable, unless they're in the direct path of main story progress. Now, this only becomes a major issue on future playthroughs. On the first and most important, you can't know what is worth your time and what isn't. Additionally, FromSoft puts decent effort into their side content, and the tangible rewards makes for an engaging experience. If this was Elden Ring's only issue, this would be a footnote of an earlier section. But the late game has such a major difficulty spike that even me, who was pretty overleveled at that point and had pretty much explored everything, struggled to push on through what became a grueling slog of bullshit.
Wow. This goddamn chicken.
FromSoft are infamous for making difficult, punishing games. That's just how they roll, and how they want you to dodge roll. It's a part of their charm and the overall intended experience. However, how do you balance late game challenges when you have a game as expansive as Elden Ring that contains such incredible build variety for its players? Well, FromSoft's answer? Make it insanely difficult. Have the player feel like they hit an entirely new brick wall made of dense rot. I'm not gonna dance around this. FromSoft made it way too hard, and I'll stop you diehard fucks right in your tracks. The answer isn't get good. I'll accept that for Dark Souls and by extension Sekiro, where the difficulty was engaging and the playing field felt mostly balanced, at least for the bosses. Why I'm here? Let's quickly address the whole difficulty in gaming debate. Simple question. Do you think New Game Plus should be included, where they actively make the enemy's damage and health scale up, making the game harder? Yes? Then congrats! You're in favor of difficulty options. Shut the fuck up. Surely a New Game Minus is not that ridiculous of an idea. I want people to be able to experience as much of this game as possible, regardless of ability, as long as the developers make it clear which option is the intended difficulty, so I can always pick that. Sure, my own experience may not be directly comparable to someone who picked an easier difficulty, but the same can already be said for those who rely on magic or broken strategies. Regardless of accessibility options, the late game of Elden Ring features two types of utter bullshit. Firstly, multiple mini-bosses at once, or what I call the double. You're twice the fucked. It's a simple algorithm. If at first you defeat a mini-boss, progress 50 hours, there'll be 2 of them. This is another element of the recycled content FromSoft uses to up the difficulty in these final sections. This isn't to say duo boss fights can't be good and haven't existed previously in the Souls series. However, they are far and few between. Remember back to my tale of Crucible Knights. One Crucible Knight is a fantastic challenge with an aggressive moveset that requires patience and quick reactions. However, play the clip. 2 incredibly aggressive enemies that are challenge enough by themselves fighting me at the same time is an issue. The design of the game combat just isn't suited to multiple aggressive bosses. There's a reason that when you spirit summon, most bosses have no idea how to handle the multiple entities, and this goes both ways. Now, to be clear, multiple enemies outside of boss fights are fine and force the player to be aware of their environment. However, if you want the double Crucible Knight, and especially the Commander O'Neill fight, to even have the slightest chance of being enjoyable, you need to spirit summon. Which, in my opinion, then makes the fight way too easy. I actually don't mind the Godskin duo. They're essentially a more polished version of the Dark Souls 1 Ornstein and Smile fight. You have the option to use consumables and mitigate one of the duo. However, I guess by admission this would indicate that to fight both of them at the same time is too hard, which maybe it is.
Ow, ow, fuck. Do not move, fucker. Oh, shit. Okay.
Even if you manage to kill one of them, they respawn mid-fight, which is quite the surprise the first time it happens.
Why does he hit for so much fucking damage? Man! What? What? They come back? You fucking kidding me?
Ultimately, these double team fights force players into using specific strategies to even progress, ruining all of that beautiful build diversity and frustrating myself as I attempted to maintain my pristine melee dodge build. The second variant of bullshit FromSoft pull is just straight up. These wankers are not even playing the same game as you. Do not be fooled. They are fast. Faster than you can ever believe. They hit like a truck and are incredibly frustrating. This was the first of 3 major speed bumps I hit in my late game boss journey. Malik, who was the only mandatory boss I had major difficulty with. Now, the special thing about Malekith is that he is a fucking piece of shit.
Go! Fucking dumb fucking bitch! Ah!
Malekith has some seriously long and seriously fast combos, and God forbid, you mess up and get caught in one, it's game over, fucko.
Okay. Congratulations, Pat. Congratulations.
I am not kidding when I say that a single mess up in dodging one of his signature fucking electric light orchestra from hell combos is enough to end your life and kill you in the game. On top of this, when you get hit, you're inflicted with a status that rapidly drains your health.
Fucking combo. Fucking fuck!
To even attempt Malekith, you have to beat Beast Clergyman, who isn't nearly as hard as Malekith, but is not exactly a walk in the park. Especially when you're constantly having to retry, because Malekith ended this attempt in 0.1 seconds, not even giving you a chance to start memorizing his patterns, making quite literally zero progress. It's infuriating. You start making stupid mistakes.
Stupid fucking moron. Moron! I did the same thing! I need to get the fuck away from that fucking ledge.
You start questioning your current build. This was the first non-gimmick boss where I started significantly swapping equipment. I mean, it didn't work.
Fuck me, man. Fuck. He's too fucking quick.
But imagine you're playing a game of chess, except halfway through the game, your opponent, Malekith the Black Blade, gains the ability that every time he takes one of your pieces, it wipes out the surrounding pieces. Welcome to atomic chess, except in this analogy, you're still playing standard chess. Good luck.
That's okay.
It's not even like I wasn't using some overpowered weapons. The Moonveil Katana has a pretty much broken ability in Transient Moonlight. It has incredible range, and if you want to ruin the game for yourself, you can just spam that ability and make almost every fight a joke. I personally opted for Restraint. It was just another skill in my moveset to occasionally use against my enemies. and it's not like the bosses were playing fair regardless.
Fuck! I fucking just rolled that second too early. Lays that one every fucking time. No! Oh no.
Eventually, I gave in, using the Mimic tier to assist in the fight. It didn't make the fight an automatic win, but provided some much needed reprieve from the incredibly aggressive moveset of the boss. And eventually, I won.
Yes! Oh.
The second speed bump, or rather pothole, I hit was Moog, who has similar issues to Malekith of punishing hits and fast combos. However, Moog wouldn't be quite as bad if it wasn't for two quirks of this fight. The first of which happens at the halfway mark as Moog shifts into phase 2. The player is inflicted with 3 highly damaging, unavoidable status effects that also heal Moog.
What?
The only way to survive this, beyond the secret ultra-specific item, is to heal through it, with health potions. This would be an okay gimmick if it wasn't for Moog's second quirk. In his second phase, Moog constantly scatters around the arena blood flame. Yes, I know, that's rad as fuck. You take damage if you step in it, and it gradually builds up a highly damaging status effect. The issue is that the arena isn't massive, and these new constant environmental hazards make for a cramped and cluttered second phase.
Shit!
I'm not against the player needing environmental awareness. However, the majority of your focus is going to be on Moog and his incredibly aggressive combos and punishing hits. This pretty much means you're going to be constantly taking damage from the flame hazards because you don't have the time to divide your focus. You're going to want as many health potions as possible to heal through the damage, and this is assuming you're not making constant mistakes. Can you see why? Forcing the player to burn through at least 3 health potions at the midpoint of the fight may just be a touch irritating. Now, imagine you're playing a game of chess. You've just entered the mid-game, except your opponent, Moog the Lord of Blood, uses a move that wipes your bishops, knights, and rooks. Good luck. The specific issue here is that the fight becomes defined by being forced to heal. In the second phase, I was pretty constantly taking damage, meaning I had to play far more passively to even have a chance of responding to Moog's attacks.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. That was rough.
I eventually beat Moog. It was a constant struggle of dodging, sneaking a hit in, running away to a safe distance to attempt to heal, and I didn't even have to use a Mimic tier. Speaking of... Okay, time for a sidetrack, and yes, I know you sadists are waiting to enjoy my suffering of one specific cunt boss. Well, you're gonna have to wait a bit longer. It's time to try and find some goddamn meaning in this shitstorm. The most insightful way I could present the issues with these difficult bosses comes down to the 2 most feasible strategies to beating these bosses. Both of these strategies circumvent the roots of the melee dodge build that so many FromSoft game crack addicts have come to enjoy. The first is broken loadouts, using every and any advantage or exploit against the boss, ultimately making the fight way too easy. I dipped my toes into the Mimic tier and Moonveil with some amount of restraint to keep the game engaging. However, if you wanted to unleash an absolute armada of weapons, buffs, exploits, and spirit summons, you entirely can, and the bosses will have no way to effectively react. This extends to over-leveling, which is always an option. The issue here is that it's no longer a fight, it's an execution. Thus, the onus is on the player as to how much advantage against a boss is fair. I constantly attempted to engage with these bosses from a pure melee dodge build, learning patterns and responding to openings, as is the enjoyment I got in the first 2/3 of the game. But the late game bosses are so hard that it's an unreasonable level of skill and patience to beat them without being funneled into one of these strategies. This, I think, is why the late game bosses are so hard. FromSoft can't gauge what advantages and items the players will have, and has ramped the difficulty up, ultimately overcompensating and locking out all that freedom the first 2/3 of the game allowed. The problem is that if you opt into these strategies, the fights become too easy, and the player is no longer engaging with the content. The second feasible strategy is ranged and magic. The bosses can't hurt you if you're nowhere near them. Magic has continued to be an easier alternative throughout the Souls series, and the issue here is that it makes the fights boring. There's no risk of getting hit, and most bosses have no way to effectively respond. If FromSoft wants Elden Ring to be played like Bloons Tower Defense, then fine. But why spend so much time and effort designing intricate boss combos to be viewed from afar? If you enjoyed either of these two playstyles, then that's okay. Enjoy the game how you want. There's no wrong way to play. Well, actually, there is one objectively incorrect way to experience Elden Ring. Be a Twitch streamer.
Is the only way I know.
What really sucks is that the first 2/3 of Elden Ring indicated that my melee dodge build was an acceptable manner through which to engage with the game. I don't need to look to Sekiro or Dark Souls for good examples of intuitive boss fights, because there are good, balanced fights in Elden Ring's first 2/3. The difficulty complemented the gameplay loop. Sure, there's the occasional quirk.
Okay, you just can't fucking roll through that one, huh? What's good bullshit timing?
But mostly it all worked. Once again, I'll call upon my Tale of Crucible nights. The duet dance, the requirements to learn the patterns and respond appropriately. The rhythm and flow that allow the occasional mistake. As Donkey so aptly puts,
having super aggressive enemies with crazy combos and unpredictable attacks is the fun kind of difficult, but making those moves hit for your entire health bar is fucking lame and cheap.
Reducing the damage of these bosses would be a simple solution, affording the player more wiggle room for mistakes and reacting to the boss's attacks. The status effects would still be there, which most often deal an amount of damage proportional to your health bar, meaning you couldn't just tank through hits, and too many mistakes in a row would result in a swift death. The occasional bullshit, like massive combos, double team fights, and undodgeable hits, would be far easier to overlook if you weren't dying immediately to them due to the brutal amount of damage. If FromSoft are committed to having one distinct moveset for bosses, then that moveset should be balanced against the most basic player build possible, the literal naked person with a stick. Now, I'm not saying that would be fun, but a part of the challenge was learning to anticipate and avoid damage. Not standing around watching the boss have fun while you wait at times upwards of 30 seconds for a chance of a safe opening. With that said, I've spoken to multiple friends who have beaten the game and stand by that the bosses are not too hard, and that you either need to get better at the game or use some of the items that make these bosses less challenging, especially if the bosses are optional. Maybe I'm too rigid with my playstyle, or I suppose we're bumping up against the built-in subjectiveness of video game enjoyment. I guess just art enjoyment, really. I've attempted to present mostly qualitative information. Yes, I hope the clips and descriptions I've given support my argument, but beyond that, all I can say is the earlier boss fights felt challenging yet fun, and these late game bosses are challenging beyond what I'll define as reasonable or fun. This is a perfect time to footnote that Joseph Anderson's video on Elden Ring is perfect, and does a far better job of critiquing Elden Ring than I ever could. Joe uses quantitative analysis to critique these boss fights. It's well worth a watch. In fact, I've actively tried to avoid repeating good chunks of Joe's points here, as he superbly vocalizes massive parts of how I feel about Elden Ring. Overall, it should always be possible for the player to feasibly react to a boss's moveset, regardless of build. However, the late game bosses have movesets that are so fast, so brutal, that regular players have no chance of reasonably reacting. And in the case of Millennia, Blade of Mikola, she has a move that, as far as I'm concerned, is outright undodgeable. Thus, it seems it's time to examine the dance. The third and final speed bump, or rather chasm of misery, was Millennia, Blade of Mikola. Now, up to this point, I may have been frustrated with the other bosses, however, I still had a shade of doubt that maybe I was just playing the game wrong. Maybe the bosses were balanced and I just wasn't good enough. Well, with Millennia, all that doubt dissipated. Waterfowl's dance is the worst move FromSoft have ever created. It has garnered massive infamy. It is incredibly brutal. As soon as you go up against Waterfowl's dance, there's no uncertainty to if it is balanced.
What is that?
It's clearly broken, and FromSoft aren't even trying to hide that fact. It is undodgeable. You will try and try and try to find the timing to roll through it, and you never will. It's fucking horseshit. If you get caught in this undodgeable move, it's essentially game over. It will melt through your health bar like that. Oh? You managed to survive with a sliver of health left? Well, for every hit she inflicts on you, she heals herself, resetting any progress you've made. You might as well have died, which you will be doing 99% of the time you attempt to dodge the move.
Damn it, 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 damn it!
The best way to avoid instantly dying to Waterfowl's dance is to be entirely on the other side of the arena, nowhere near Millennia. So, enjoy not participating in the fight. If you do decide to come close to, fight Millennia with a melee dodge build, then anytime you even get a vibe, a freaking whiff, that she's going to jump into the air to start Waterfowl's dance, you need to already be miles away or you will get decimated by the first wave of this move, which, I'll remind you, is undodgeable. It's not like Waterfowl's dance is even the only move where Malenia jumps into the air. She has several others, so get ready to immediately start running away like an anxious chicken off its meds, even when you didn't have to, because there's no way to tell and you can't risk getting caught in Waterfowl's dance. There are hundreds of posts and guides on the internet explaining how to deal with this move, and currently there is only one way to reliably dodge the first wave of this attack, where you run in circles and then roll at the last second. However, it's pretty much an exploit with Malenia's AI and not reasonable to the average player to do this. It makes the fight entirely boring. You have no choice but to play absurdly passive with the patience of a mountain monk or risk immediately dying. So, here's Pat's official guide on how to dodge Waterfowl's dance. Step 1. Equipped Bloodhound Step. Step 1. Go get Bloodhound Step.
How to get Bloodhound's Step. By Knight's Cavalry. Another one of these fucking guys. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to do horse. God fucking damn it. Finally. Stupid game.
Step 2. Equipped Bloodhound Step. Step 3. Give up. Using Bloodhound Step, a teleport dash move, makes it possible to engage with the boss and semi-reliably avoid Waterfowl's dance. And even then, I would often struggle to escape by a fucking whisker. Fuck. Regardless of Waterfowl's dance, it's not like Malenia is an easy boss. Her moves hit like... She has some insane combos. You spend the majority of the fight rolling and moving away, waiting for an opening. In fact, Malenia can get stuck spamming the same move with you constantly running away, waiting for her to change it up.
Is she broken? Oh my goodness. Stupid.
Malenia's second phase is particularly rough. She can string together an unacceptable amount of moves. Several of them give you zero opportunity to counterattack without a ranged build. You need absolute consideration or risk getting steamrolled by Waterfowl's dance. Even when you go in to attack a place you expected to be safe, the boss, out of nowhere, will string another attack and punish you for thinking it was safe to attack, even though it had been the last 20 times you witnessed this move. Now, imagine, if you would, you're playing a game of chess. You're not even 10% through the game when your opponent suddenly wipes the board clean, starts laughing at you, explains that you're an idiot, this isn't chess. Good luck. I beat Malenia, Blade of Mikola, with 0 summons or exploits. Was it worth it? It wasn't fun, even with the great relief of finally beating her.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
The mark of a true lord.
Okay, well, that's done. Fuck.
It did make for a seared-in memorable experience, even if it was tainted with frustration at FromSoft.
No! Whoa, fucking stupid fucking wall.
Millennia is without a doubt the hardest FromSoft boss I have versed. Elden Ring's late game bosses require you to play it so safe, or just take damage, that you may as well be holding up a shield as you're waiting that long for an opening. Millennia is the point at which Elden Ring's difficulty peaked. Specifically, in terms of pacing for my first run, this was the game's climax. The greatest challenge I could face, coming at the tail end of 3 particularly difficult bosses, and yet the game still had multiple hours and several final bosses left. Unfortunately, by comparison to Millennia, or lacking proper polish, the final run of bosses becomes entirely an anticlimax. Originally, this final section was going to be a joke, that the final stretch of the game is pretty forgettable. I was going to cut straight to the conclusion. The video is long enough. However, writing out my thoughts, they're pretty brief, and I might as well complete the disappointing final brushstrokes of the picture. Upon arriving back at the capital, there's a run of final bosses on the way to complete the game. Firstly, I went and beat Dragon Lord Flaccidcox. He's fine. The sound design is especially cool. He's kind of like Radagon crossed with a dragon. Now, I know FromSoft have a thing for dragons, but could we maybe tone it down just a tad? The next boss was Godfrey. He's actually pretty great. He needed more health to be any kind of... That's the mic. The next boss was Godfrey. He's actually pretty great. He needed more health to be any kind of challenge, but enjoyable nonetheless. Finally, entering the Erdtree, you fight Radagon, who would be a cool boss, if not overshadowed by the difficulty of previous bosses. Radagon has some incredible looking movesets and works as a final one-on-one fight. Though he has a similar issue of being able to string moves together in such a quick manner you won't have time to react. But at this point I was done, I was tanking through hits, I'd stopped properly engaging with the game. Perhaps Radagon's greatest flaw is that to fight Elden Beast, the final boss, you have to beat Radagon every time. Now, Radagon is no longer a duel, but an inconvenience to attempt the final fight. Where do I even start with Elden Beast? It's just a shit final boss. If it's meant to be like a cinematic spectacle fight, then fine. I can accept that. Have Radagon be the final proper fight, then a big fun Lovecraftian creature. However, you spend the large majority of the fight just slowly, monotonously running towards this fucker. You get a single hit in, and it jumps up like a dolphin you were meant to swim with, leaving you behind at the shore. The arena is massive, and I have no clue why you're not able to ride Torrent in this fight. It makes zero sense, just let me use the horse. Furthermore, why not have the fight at least semi-designed around using one of the brand new elements introduced in Elden Ring? The horse is fun. It can cover distance much quicker. This Elden Beast fuck keeps sprinting away. The solution is right there. Let me ride the goat. Give me the freedom to ride a horse for fuck's sake. How did FromSoft think this fight was polished enough for the literal final moments of their biggest game? Come on! If you made it this far through the video, then congrats. Give yourself a patronizer pat on the back. All 5 of you. If I wanted this video to do well, I would have named it something stupid like Fast Levels Rune Exploit, Crazy Secret Elden Ending, Explained, or I don't know, How to Finger Maidens. Regardless, I can feel the script tension of hurry this shit up to a conclusion. The teleprompter is saying wrap it up like I'm a VFX artist at the Oscars.
Oh, thanks, prompter. Thank.
Don't talk to the teleprompter, amateur.
Why is that bad?
You don't do that.
Elden Ring's exploration, striking visual variety, and combat are all substantive and achieved at a standard so high it protrudes out from the sea of AAA trash that swallowed the gaming industry. It's quite fitting that I've spent 2/3 of this video attempting to keep my sweeping praise concise and on topic, only to spend the final third with a thesaurus struggling to find different ways to say the same thing over and over. The recycled content is disappointing. The late game fights are not engaging or fun. They force players into broken or boring strategies. Elden Ring's peaks are exceedingly high, that it doesn't take much for flaws to feel like immense valleys. At the end of the day, it's still better than pretty much anything else. Elden Ring is a massive open world action adventure game that propelled me through 100 hours of gameplay without a distinct narrative or characters to pull me along. Just pure gameplay. Moreover, it weaseled its way into my brain like a golden parasite until, over a year later, I'm finishing up a 12,000 word script, recording a video that's appropriately too long. I'm very excited for the DLC. I hope they're able to polish it to hell and avoid some of the trappings of the base game. If this is to be my final video game review, then what a befitting game to finish on. Elden Ring is an unforgettable experience and crowning video game achievement. My adventures will forever live on, through my words, through my recordings, through the fading fragments of elated feelings, slowly blown away, like the leaves of a golden tree.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe.
Yeah, you literally couldn't get a single hit in before you would die. You wouldn't be able to get a single health off this guy before you would have to give up.
Elden Ring.